Here we go.
Hey, so I just didn't realize. Have I wore this hat on the episode yet?
I don't think so. Modern Methods
Brewing, dude. We found this place up in Northeast Ohio. It is, if you're ever in rural Northeast Ohio, it's wild how rural Northeast Ohio can get. But this place is in Warren, Ohio. By the way, on the note of Warren, Ohio, did you know Dave Grohl is from Warren, Ohio?
No.
I know. Jen and I were like, there is literally Dave Grohl Alley in Warren, Ohio. There's like a whole alley dedicated to Dave Grohl. It has a bunch of dope-ass graffiti. But this brewery is in this like weird-ass tucked-away alley in Warren, Ohio. It's so hard to find. It's so out. Anyways, dope-ass brewery.
That's a dope hat.
Dope-ass hat. But here's what got my mind thinking about it. I just bought another hat today. I am quickly growing to have a hat addiction.
Yeah, I got a similar thing.
and so today's hat that I bought is a company from company from Canada, but they're put together in Portland, Oregon, and it's about the preserving land management land. It's about preserving that. Like the proceeds go to that. But I'm fucking stoked about getting that hat. Anywho,
that's kind of what my hat is. Land Conservancy. It's a group that buys land and makes trails and man, we got a lot to go over today. It's some big news day, big news week in the ultra world. A few classic races happened over the weekend. There's a lot of cool female FKTs to go over. And as well as an FKT that a friend of the pod created himself. And for news, we have an update on Kilian's States of Elevation project, what he's done and what he's got going on. Also, a huge doping violation rocks the trail and ultra running world. And also there was a guilty verdict in a trial over someone cutting a switchback on an FKT. We covered that story in the past, but it kind of fizzled out, but it is back in the news now. So let's just jump into those race results. Wasatch 100.
Big boy race.
Yeah, Wasatch, I believe it's still a Hard Rock qualifier, and it's in near Salt Lake City up in the Mount Wasatch range up there. That's a tough race. I believe it's an out and back, but a lot of like technical climbing, I think, and some steep climbing and descents. But Jose Cruz, he owns this race kind of. Like he's on the podium every year. He was second in 2024. He was first in 2023, third in 2022, and second in 2021. So he really likes this race. He's always up there. And he ended up winning this year in 2038. And he is also running the Bear, which is just north of where Wasatch 100 is. And he's running the Bear 100 in like 2.5 weeks. And last year, when he finished second at Wasatch, he went and he won Bear. So he loves those two races.
Yeah.
Isabella Poulos won for the women in 23:45. So this was her first 100-miler. She had a good summer with mountain running, like second and fourth place at San Juan Solstice 50 and Telluride Mountain Run. So welcome to the 100-mile club, Isabella. And you just dominated Wasatch 100, a highly prestigious race. Speaking of big-time 100-milers, the Mogollon Monster 100 was out on the Mogollon Rim in Pine, Arizona this weekend. This is an Air Viper race.
Such a fascinating race. Such a fascinating race.
This is a very intriguing race, and it's kind of like your rim to river or whatever, where it like drops down and it like comes back up. It goes along the Mogollon rim and it just drops down and it comes back up. But these descents, in a sense, are like hardcore, technical, rocky as fuck.
in a weird way, the descents, in a very weird way, the descents might be slower than the ascents.
I agree.
It's crazy watching people try to go down that shit. Yeah. I was watching, I can't remember if you sent me the video or if Pete Grigg sent it to me. I was watching a video and it literally looked like the person was afraid to go down. Like you could see like they're like, where do I go? You know what I mean? Like I can't. Did you send me the video of like you're not making time on these descents? I think was that you.
That's what I did. Yeah, so I said like they're losing time on those descents.
Yeah, and there was like a person that like I think it was like she looked like she was like I'm afraid to go down this. Like it just looked gnarly. Like, this race fully has me captivated. I love this race. It is so intriguing to me.
Extremely technical. I think it's a 38-hour cutoff, if I'm not mistaken.
At minimum. I feel like it could even be more.
Yeah, and like you said, like if you just look up Aravaipa on Instagram and you look at some of their posts from the race, you can see the videos of people going down these rocky and climbing these rocky descents and ascents. I can only compare it to this one super steep climb down at this Castle Peak 100K that's not in existence anymore, but it was like that. It was like super rocky, and I was losing major time on the downhill.
Yeah.
And it was super steep and super rocky down to this lake. It was like 2 miles, and I lost so much time on that downhill. It was so frustrating. And I can imagine that every climb on the Mogollon Monster is like that.
Just crazy. It also is a hard rock qualifier.
That's correct. Yep.
I keep saying it. It is just a fascinating race.
Yeah, and the total climbing is not what you would really expect for a hard rock qualifier. Let's see.
17,000 feet.
Yeah, so like you would expect more climbing out of a hard rock qualifier, but that just goes to show how technical and tough it is.
Just brutal the up and downs are.
Yeah. But Jeremy Humphrey ended up, I think he led the race wire to wire, the 100-miler, and he won in 21:07, which is an insane time.
Here's the other thing that's interesting about it. I'm because I just happen to be catching my eye. You're never below 5,200 feet. So I mean that's not high. But if you're a flatlander, 5,200 feet's enough to get you a little. Whew,
You'll feel it. You'll feel it a little bit.
And
it'll dehydrate you.
Yeah, and you do go as high as 8,000 feet. So you're right in that weird sweet spot of where you're like, I mean, I know I'm up there in elevation, but like I'm not like 10,000 feet. Like what's going on? It is just that right height that will F with your head. And like you said, you're high enough that you're arid. Like you are air. It will just suck the liquid right out of your body.
It does. You have to hydrate more than you think at that elevation. But yeah, Jeremy Humphrey won the 100-miler, led wire to wire, 21:07, and that was the fourth fastest men's 100-mile time in that race. And then Colleen Moffitt won for the women in 27:52, and that was the third fastest finish for the women. Shout out to a guy that I used to work with in Detroit. He moved to Arizona, and he did the 42K out at Mogollon Monster, Keith Becky. But he got lost, and he ended up running like 28 or 29 miles. So.
That is awesome.
Shout out to Keith.
That is awesome.
The Superior 100 was this weekend too. Another. That's a classic race. I think it's dates back to 1991. So it's the 9th oldest 100-miler in America, I believe. And it's a point-to-point on the Superior Hiking Trail. I know Chaz has been itching to get into Superior for a few years now. It's lottery, so it's hard to get into.
Hard to get, yeah.
But yeah, that's out in Minnesota there along the Superior Hiking Trail. Jacob Wortman won the race in 2013, and Rachel Turry won for the women in 25:36. Run Woodstock Running Festival was over the weekend.
Heyo.
When I lived in Michigan, I guess you could consider this my home race, I guess. I had a lot of fun experiences out there. It's a whole weekend of trail running and partying, and they have bands and everything. I mean, it's a little on the cheeseball side, but it is so much fun. And the 100-miler starts on Friday afternoon or Friday evening, so that it finishes on Saturday night with all the other races. So everybody can party down on Saturday night. But let's see. So for the 100-miler, Brenda Johnson won the 100-miler outright. She won, beat all the guys and all the women.
That's dope.
Brenda Johnson, 19:05, and Brian Puppi was first for the men and second overall in 20 hours and 22 minutes. I don't know if you've noticed, but on the Ultra Running Magazine race results now, they show you the time difference on how far back the.
I do like that. Like they do the math for us. I like it.
That's right. So hour and 16 second place was from first place. It's cool. And in the 100K, Keegan Allman won in 10 hours and 27 minutes, and Margaret Joey Retsema won for the women in 12 hours and 2 minutes. 50-miler, Keegan Sims won in 7:08, and Ruth Lowe won for the women in 9:07. In the 50K, Joseph Igleski, 4 hours and 28 minutes, first place. And first for the women was Julie Hood in 5 hours and 21 minutes. So congrats to everybody that ran out at Run Woodstock over the weekend, out at the, what's that? Hell Creek Ranch?
Yeah, Hell Creek. Is it still at Hell Creek? It is still at Hell Creek. Yeah, it is.
Dude, you know what's really quickly, Hell Creek Ranch, I camped before I was even an ultra runner or trail runner or even back into running at all.
Yeah.
We camped out at Hell Creek Ranch one time. We're just partying. And I don't know.
That's what Hell Creek Ranch is designed for.
It's funny how everything, like some things come full circle. Like
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Next. Oh, YUTC. YUTC was this weekend. That's the Youngstown Ultra Trail Classic. A very small race, a very homegrown race, but it's been going on for a long time.
Super long time. Super long.
Since 2005.
And they are not making any changes. They have zero desire to catch up with like anything modern.
Yeah, they got 20 years now, and then they're still doing everything the way they used to. Chad Comer won in 4 hours and 40 minutes, and Courtney Clark was first for the women, 5 hours and 5 minutes. Also, I do want to give a couple of shout outs in the Run Woodstock races. I want to back up a little bit. Steve Trail Runner Pierce must have been in town visiting, because he lives in Florida now, but he ran the marathon out there at the Run Woodstock races and got fourth in his age group.
Nice.
And shout out to Brandy Krause. She completed the 50K out there.
Dude, Steve Trail Runner Pierce is a fast motherfucker, boy. That dude can lay them down.
He is fast. He's very fast.
So fucking fast.
He's the one that, like, I always remember going for runs with him, and he would just say, like, oh, I can slow down, I can go your speed, and then he would just like
all of a sudden he'd just be bebopping down
and keep up with him. I'd be like, I'm gonna walk now. He's like, oh, okay, I'll walk, and then he would walk like 10 yards and then start running again.
Start jogging again. Yeah.
Great guy though, great guy.
Yeah.
And then in Oh, this was an interesting note that I read somewhere, and like it for YUTC. It was a pair of alliterations for the race winners. Chad Colmer and Courtney Clark both have C for the first name, C for the last name.
Oh, jeez.
I had to look up alliteration. I didn't even know what that meant. But
they're illiterate? What?
Yeah.
Like we're putting them on blast for not knowing how to read? Like what?
Yeah, right.
That, by the way, if you're ever in Northeast Ohio, for any of our Northeast Ohio, for anyone in Ohio, candidly, I mean, if you're in Ohio, if you're in PA, if you're close to Youngstown, if it's just like, hey, you know what, dude, that is a fun. It is a weirdly hard race. It's kind of fun to run. It goes by this really dope ass old mill. That's it, and like this park that you're running in is smack dab center of Youngstown. It is the weirdest. It is so weird how in the woods you are, but in the smack dab center. And also, interesting fact: the park that it's held in is like it holds some sort of record as being like one of the largest. I think it's referred to as an urban park. So it's like it's in like the top like 2 or 3 of largest urban parks in the United States. It's like what is it? It's like Central Park. It's like Central Park, and then there's like Golden Gate Bridge Park, and then
Golden Gate Park.
Or Golden Gate Bridge Park. Yeah. It's like Central, Golden Gate Bridge Park, and like this one or some weird shit are like it is a
it's got to be Forest Park, and Portland has to be the biggest.
Yeah, well, yeah, of course, yeah. So anyways, check out this race. It's really cool old school race. If you're into old school races, check it out. If you need all bunch of glitz and glamour, do not go. You will not dig that. It will not. So
yeah.
All right.
Okay. Actually, it's the Bayou Sauvage National Wildlife Refuge in New Orleans is the largest urban park. 25,000 acres.
I'll have to look up. It's Mill Creek Park. I have to look up what makes it famous.
I'm sure it is an urban park aspect. That is cool. Yeah. I like a good urban park.
Yeah.
All right, let's jump into FKTs. So our friend of the pod, Robert Santoro, if any of our listeners remember Robert, he ran the 6 days in the Dome. We had him on to talk about that. He had, in a recent Substack post, he mentioned that he got a short FKT ratified from his time in Orlando, not long or fast, but he wanted to run an FKT when he was there, but there weren't many options, so he just created his own route.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It's the Northeast Orlando Loop via the Cadyway and Orlando Urban Trails. So it was kind of cool, to incorporate urban trails. And it's like a little over 14 miles with 153 foot of gain. So pretty flat and fast.
That's Orlando, baby.
Yeah. And he laid down 1 hour and 49 minutes. So pretty good for over a half marathon. And yeah, Robert is pretty fast.
It's really funny. It is kind of funny to think how long this FKT will last until someone finds you like, what the fuck? Wait, I can take that. You know what I mean? It really does kind of crack me up. Like, how long can this thing possibly last?
Yeah.
It also weirdly makes me want to like just create other random FKTs here in Delaware.
Right.
Just so I could have it for a little bit with my slow ass. You know what I mean? Just like, have like a weird ass slow FKT for as long as I can have it.
You should totally do that. He says he ran this fasted and without water, and it was hot. The Florida August heat. So he had
gross.
3 honey stinger, which helped, and 1 public water tap along the way. Yeah, scenic loop through urban Orlando. Started and finished at Mitchell Nutter Park. So, all right, that's pretty cool.
I love his report. I figured I would try to get a route put down for others to tear up. I just love,
Yeah.
I love the fact that he just created it with full expectation of other people just to like fucking decimate it. You know what I mean? Like I just,
Heck yeah.
there's something that's really, really dope about that. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Absolutely. The LA Freeway route in Colorado. We went over this when Anton Krupicka set the FKT recently. This is a very tough route, and this is actually where Kilian Jornet started his States of Elevation project, is the LA Freeway. But that's not why we're talking about it right now for this FKT. It is 35 miles with 20,000 feet of climbing. So it's like serious, like scramble, like serious climbing. And Tina Currin just set the female unsupported FKT on this route, 1 day, 17 hours and 24 minutes. And she has a pretty nice write-up over, she breaks it down like section by section. But to get this done unsupported is pretty impressive. And also, from my understanding, Kilian's time on this route that he just did was faster than Anton's unsupported time. So, and that is the fastest time currently. So even if Kilian is considered supported, he's going to have that FKT. So from starting his project, which we'll get into his project in a little while. Mm-hmm. Oh, yes. So in Tina Currin's report, she mentions that there was scarce water, exposed fifth-class moves, and weather that turns without warning. Perhaps 24 people have finished it. No woman had done the line unsupported. For everyone else that sits there, a jagged silhouette on the horizon, gawked at from Highway 36 into Boulder. So, yeah, super difficult. And to do it unsupported is impressive.
I mean, it involves mountaineering. You know what I mean?
Like yes.
It is crazy.
Absolutely. Okay, so the Grand Teton modern route, they actually had to discontinue the other route where the switchback cutting was. I think they're doing trail work over on that one, but there's a new route called the modern route, and it's 14.5 miles with 7,100 feet of climbing. And Jane Mao just broke the unsupported female FKT on this route in the Grand Teton, and she did it in 3 hours and 45 minutes and 34 seconds. She beat Jasmine Lothar's 4 hours and 6 minute time. So like a little over 21 minute difference there.
No course cutting.
Yeah, no course cutting. Or maybe this is the one that he did, because those switchbacks look kind of like the switchbacks.
Those switchbacks look awfully familiar.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Next one is, and I think I talked about this when you were off, the New Hampshire 4,000 footers.
No, I think it's like the week I came back. Yeah, this is god awful crazy.
So there's 48 mountains that comprise the list of New Hampshire 4,000 foot peaks. And there's two ways you can do this FKT. One, you can do it to where you get a ride between trailheads to summit these 4,000 footers. Or two, you can do the whole thing on foot, which is considered self-powered. Standard is where you get a ride between the trailheads. Self-powered is where you do it all on foot. So Lexi Jackson, she just set the female self-powered unsupported FKT, and she did it in convincing fashion. 5 days, 16 hours, and 30 minutes. How do you do that unsupported? Like, it's just incredible.
Dude, that is crazy.
And she beat it by almost 2 days. Lila Herod, 7 days, 11 hours was the previous unsupported female on New Hampshire 4,000 footers.
200 miles, 80,000 feet.
Yeah.
God, on like East Coast. East
Coast.
I think the other thing that's interesting about this one that you left out, and this is a very New England thing for them to have a second category. You're right. There is the powered and there's the self-powered, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the other thing that there is, is there is winter and self-powered winter.
Yeah.
Dude, look at the self-powered winter.
Yeah.
That is fucking gnarly. Like, how do you stay out in that level of cold? Look at the time it took them.
I know. It is bonkers.
29, just brutal, dude.
Brutal.
You got... nuh-uh.
Yep. Oh. And Lexi said that she ended up with 84,380 feet of gain.
83,000 or they're
84,380.
84,000.
Crazy. Like, her race report goes over the calories that she had, like Goldfish, Fritos, Twizzlers, granola, Cheerios, protein bars, protein powders.
There's just nothing. There's just not enough. I cannot wrap my head around that, man.
Yeah. Update on Jeff Garmire. He got to where his first big resupply box was supposed to be, and had a power bank and socks and all this stuff. Well, he's doing the AT north to south self-supported FKT, and he needed this power bank to charge his tracker and his headlamps and all this stuff. And he got there, and they had thrown his supply box out because a mouse got into it. They didn't save the power supply or anything. They just threw the whole thing out. So he was like devastated because he spent $200 on like gas station stuff, like candy bars and stuff that's not like the nutrition that he's used to. And he was in a bad place when he left there, like because he does a video every day, and his friend shares it on his Instagram account. And he was like, I'm walking around feeling like I have diabetes from all this shit I've been eating, and like I'm in a bad place. And his tracker lost power, but his watch did have enough power, so he was able to track for the verification when his headlamps were out of power, like all this stuff. And he was just in a bad place emotionally, mentally. And then like the last day he had to survive on like 20 calories an hour to get to his next resupply box. And he made it to his next resupply box, and he had everything in there. He had a power bank, he had socks, he had all this stuff. So now he's on a good trajectory. He says he feels good. He has some time to make up, but he's back on track. So he looks like he's about, looking at his map, it looks like he's about halfway, I'm guessing, through Virginia. He's down around he's somewhere between like Roanoke and Blacksburg. He's down around that neck of the woods. Oh yeah, and you can see where his tracker quit working.
Phased out, yeah.
Yeah. So he is definitely in a much better place right now. He's at mile 15:20. Let's see. So he's 7 days into Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
And
he
so
needs
he's got
to do
4 days to make it through the rest of Virginia.
Yeah, if he does it in if just like total fluke, he did it in a perfect another 4 days, and from this very moment, he would have lost like roughly an hour, right? Because the previous is 11 days, 2 hours, 48 minutes. Mm-hmm. So if he does it in if it takes him 4 days, he'll be just over an hour, little under an hour, I guess, really, because it's 11:03:08. He'd be versus 11:02.
He'd be like 15.
Yeah,
15 minutes.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see if we can do it in 4 days. But
if he can do that, he'll be like 9 hours behind.
Yeah,
and he would have to just put in like one really good effort day to like get caught up, but he's making his way. Like he's crushing it now. So it'd be fun to see what happens there. Kristian Morgan I guess realized he wasn't going to make it. You sent me that video of him in the canoe. Realized he wasn't going to make it. I think he say he's going to finish though.
I think he did say he's still going to finish. He's taking but now he's like taking 0 days.
He's like boozing.
Yeah,
there he is.
Yeah, he's all the way he's chill mode now. Now he's 0 days and having beers and fucking around in canoes and you know what I mean? Like what is he doing?
Looks like he's having fun.
Yeah.
So, that's cool. All right. Let's jump into the news.
Are we going to jump right into the big boy ref, the rip?
Yeah, I think so. Joyline Chepngeno from Kenya, who just won Sierra Zanal, like one of the highest profile, trail races. It's sub ultra, but it's a super high profile trail race. She won Sierra Zanal, including prize money. She won UTMB's OCC, which is like their 50K, and that has prize money. Well, it's just announced that she has received a doping ban after her win of Sierra Zanal. She tested positive for what is likely cortisone.
It's similar. Yeah, it's
She had a knee injury in July. She got an injection in her knee of whatever form of cortisone or corticoid that was injected. Not aware. She said she was not aware that it was a banned substance. And didn't you say there was an in-race testing?
Yeah, at Sierra
Zanal.
Yeah, they like mid-race. They're like, "Hey, I need you to step over here and pee in this cup."
So,
she melted the cup. That urine was so hot it melted the cup. They're like, so,
and she's really, she's just been like crushing races too. Like, it's if she truly didn't know, I do feel bad for her because she's really been having a heck of a year.
It's definitely one of those things where you could, like you and I were discussing before the recording, right? Like it's one of those. It is a. I can't remember what way it goes. It's she got caught with corticosteroid is what she got caught with, right?
Yeah,
corticosteroid,
a synthetic corticosteroid.
Yeah, and so I can't remember if all cortisones are corticosteroids or if all corticosteroids are cortisones. It's one or the other. One is an umbrella over the other, but they're very synonymous.
Gotcha.
And like you're saying, like it's completely reasonable to believe. Shit, I've had cortisone shots. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's completely reasonable to believe that she was just taking it for therapeutic measures, and
she didn't get the therapeutic exemption.
Yeah, and like the article even says, hey, listen, all she had to do was declare that she has been taking this for therapeutic reasons, and it would have been exempted. It's the fact that she didn't declare it. It's not that this is like a banned substance. It's just that you had to declare. Because like you were talking about, like Roche has talked about taking the cortisone.
Yeah.
Like a bunch of, like, you'd rattle off 2 or 3 people where like
Hayden Hawks, Jim Walmsley
actively talks about taking cortisone shots.
Yeah, or PRP, yeah.
Yeah, and like I've done PRP. I've tried 2 rounds of PRP into the knee. Yeah. Tons of fun. Let me tell you how fun a PRP injection is into your knee socket. And so it's just one of those things where it's like, dude, like, damn, man, like, and like
it's tough.
And it's hard for her to expect the athlete to know all these. That's why you got people, right? That's why you're supposed to have a corner behind you. That's why you have coaches. That's why, especially like someone like she's sponsored by Solomon. Well, was sponsored by Solomon. You know what I mean? Like, dude, where like it just sucks. It just really sucks.
Yeah, and Solomon, her sponsor, issued a statement right away. And let's see, their statement was
their statement's harsh as fuck, honestly.
Solomon has received official confirmation that Joyline Chepngeno, one of our trail running athletes, has returned a positive anti-doping test after the use of injected painkillers in the form of corticoids. The behavior contradicts the values at the core of Solomon's DNA, which shape all our actions. We will uphold these principles without compromise. Any violation is unacceptable and will not be tolerated. So apparently they dropped her right away. So as a part of her doping ban, she's receiving a 2-year ban, which went into effect September 8th, which was yesterday. All the results from August 9th forward are nullified. This includes Sierrazinol and OCC.
So now that while you're reading stuff, I'm sitting there kind of catching up on some like comments on the Solomon post, and like I think we've all heard of this account. I Run Over Mountains. Mm-hmm. Is I just found a comment on the Solomon post where I Run Over Mountains is talking about the coach, manager, agent for Milimani Runners, which I'm assuming is a Kenyan running club or team or group or something, and then adds them. So kudos on I Run Over Mountains because they added the person. It says they need to be part of the conversation, and athletes do not make these choices alone. So I love where I Run Over Mountains heads at, because like that's the whole thing. Like where was your agent / coach / manager?
Yeah,
like where were they? Like
if you're a professional runner, how is at least your camp not aware of
your
banned substances?
Of maybe one of your most elite runners too. And the other thing that just popped into my head and listening to you actually read out loud Solomon's like statement, it's so harsh. It's such strong language from their camp.
Not like we're going to look into this or anything. They're just like unacceptable.
And when it's that, and for me, in my ears, when I hear that, it's so definitive. It's so harsh that it really lends me to believe this is not her first talk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It really kind of tells me like maybe Solomon knew, or maybe Solomon knew like, hey, listen, we dodged a bullet here. You know what I mean? Like maybe she dropped urine, not at a race. Maybe she did it, and they're like, hey, listen, we can't be like, you got to be on top of this shit. And she didn't hear. I don't know. It just feels so like boom from Solomon.
It is pretty harsh,
like, dude. Like what'd you guys know? Because like that's pretty definitive, man. Like that's no love loss.
Yep. All right. So that's like pretty shocking. And one other thing I want to say about doping bans and doping violations in general, and we talked about this before the show, there's different race organizations use different governing bodies of this. So like, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt that it's a lot to keep track of sometimes, but as we mentioned, it's something that you really should know. If there's prize money on the line, if this is your livelihood, you should probably know. In some more positive news, Francesco Puppi, who just had one hell of a year with the 100K distance. He won Canyon's 100K, and then he turns around and he wins CCC 100K, two of the most competitive 100Ks in the world. He's accepted his golden ticket from CCC out there at UTMB, which is awesome because he's going to be running Western States. A lot of people were surprised that he didn't accept his golden ticket after winning Canyon's 100K, but he was very honest when he said that he doesn't feel that it's the right time, that he's not quite ready, because Canyon's was his first 100K ever. So he's like, I'm not ready for that jump yet, but he's ready now. And I will say this guy is fast, and he will be in the lead pack, like no doubt in my mind. So it'll be fun to see what he does at Western States next year. All right, Kilian started his States of Elevation project, and it is insane the stats that he's been racking up so far. Just so he started out with the LA Freeway route, and he's I gotta log in to see more. Let's see here. He's been so I guess we should back up. We went over a little bit about this a couple weeks ago when he announced it, but his States of Elevation project he's going to link all 67 14,000 foot peaks, accessible 14,000 foot peaks in the lower 48 states, by covering 600 miles on foot by hiking and running and 2,400 miles on bike. So he's not riding in a car between these trailheads. He's biking between these trailheads. And to put that into perspective, it's a Tour de France stage and a marathon every day.
Golly days.
And as we all know, that marathon on foot is no flat marathon. He's climbing 14,000 foot peaks, many of which require technical climbing skills. And
I mean, one of them's LA Freeway.
Yeah. So just to put this into perspective, his stats for the first week of September this is between bike and run and hike, 298.7 miles, 74,226 feet of climbing from September 1st to September 7th. That's almost 75,000 feet of climbing between the biking and the hiking and running. Over 56 hours in a week, dude. So this is where he's been. And on Strava is the best place to keep up with this, but he started with Long's Peak on the LA Freeway. And then he went to Blue Sky to Gray. Oh, that's part of the LA. Oh, wait. Barely slept following the LA Freeway. Woke up feeling every one of those 16 hours, as well as the Colorado altitude. And storms had other plans. The weather system rolled in. That's the other thing. He's been dealing with like pretty extreme cold.
Oh, yeah.
He's starting this project in late summer. It's almost fall. And when you're getting into fall with 14,000 foot peaks, anything's possible.
Dude, I mean, I think back, because I follow him on Instagram. Like, I think think about some of his posts though, where he's in, he's over there, in Europe, up on these snow covered mountains. So he's an ice climber and all kinds of wild shit. This dude is
he's
fucking nuts.
He has a lot of experience. He did Everest twice in a week.
Yeah.
Without oxygen.
Yeah.
So
different level dude, man.
He's a different level dude. He only had 1 liter of water for what was it? 16 hours or something, or I can't remember. Did I send that to you? Anyway, but so then he did the blue sky to gray clouds, and then he did the Mosquito Range in Holy Cross, and then now he's on the Giants of the Rockies, which are the 2 highest peaks in Colorado, Mount Massive and Mount Elbert, which is just north of Leadville, I guess, or no, it's near Leadville. I mean, so that's what he's doing right now. But if you look at all these different runs, 21 miles with 89.70 climbing, 11.9 miles with 5,300 feet of climbing. And even the biking has thousands of feet of climbing. So it's just insane, but we'll be following along. He's in Colorado and the highest peaks right now. So pretty cool. One thing I'm wondering is when he gets to the Sierra, there's really bad air quality right now in the mid and southern Sierra because of that Garnet fire.
Mm-hmm.
And the air quality is super bad. There's been some people out training for the Mammoth 200 that were saying how bad the air quality has been out there. And I'm not sure when the Mammoth 200 is. I think it's coming up in the next couple of weeks. Let's see, September 26th. So
yeah, dead on 2 weeks, really, right?
Yeah, so I'm wondering how the air quality is going to be for Mammoth 200, and when Kilian gets there in a few weeks.
I mean, this is probably an obvious. It depends. I in my head, I would assume it depends on how contained his fires are now, right?
Yeah, it's 14% contained today. I mean, once they get 25-30% containment, the rest goes pretty quick. But
it's that first 25s that's a real ass kicker. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, because they got to really focus on the sides of the fire that have the most potential to explode.
Yeah.
Usually the sides that they're more relaxed on are the ones that are not going to spread as fast. So. But anyway, something to keep an eye on. All right, next news. So we talked, it was a long time ago, I think, when we talked about this. This guy, Michelino Sunseri, he did the Grand Teton FKT, and I believe it's the original route, not the modified route. And he cut a switchback, and he was honest about it. It was even on his Strava. You could see it. I haven't dove into the details on this in a while, but it was clearly marked as closed. It's an old climbers route that was used. And even some people, high profile people like Kilian Jornet, have used this switchback cut old climbers route. And it's just a small little section.
When they say small, I mean, it might be in this article. When they say small little, how many feet are we talking about here? I wonder how many feet that is. Well, and by the way, that is the exact same set of switchbacks that the FKT was just set on.
It looks like it, doesn't
it? It don't look. You know why it looks like it? Because if it walks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, it's a fucking duck. That is the exact same.
So the reason why he says he did this is to avoid the hikers, because at this point there was a lot of hikers out, so he wanted to avoid the hikers on the switchback. I think it saved him like maybe a half mile or like whatever. But the point is, there was signs saying that was not an open section of trail. Somebody made a good point though. Like, how did they even like find out about this? You know what I mean?
I'm like one of two things. It has to be one of two things. Either A, they saw his GPS upload and it was like, what the fuck? And asked him about it. Or B, one of them punk ass hikers snitched him out. I mean, like, what else could it be?
Yeah. Says he hit the end of the boulder fields at 2:29. I have 24 minutes to get through the last 4 miles of hikers. This is when I knew I had a really tough decision to make, whether or not to cut the switchbacks. This is a conversation I had with a lot of people. It's a hot topic of conversation. Blah, 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 back and forth on what to do. Had a conversation with Andy about it. He gave me permission, saying the route is up for interpretation. It's about whoever can get up and down the fastest. Wonder if Andy is who created the route. Unfortunately, due to weather constraints and possibly going to be the last day he could go for it, running up the very last uphill of the route, I made the decision to cut the last switchback and avoid the Congo line of hikers that would be heading up Lupine Meadows trailhead. If he had to make the same choice, he would 100% make the exact same choice. If anyone has a problem with it, they can go ahead and tell Kilian Jornet that his time doesn't count. And then they can go run the route to the best of their ability and beat all their times or fight me, whatever. So anyway, there was some back and forth whether or not it was going to go to trial. Like, they had dropped it for a minute, and then for whatever reason, they had picked it back up, and it did go to trial. But before that, this article was saying that he had contacted the park to offer clarification and volunteered to help with signage or trail restoration. Instead, he was invited to a formal meeting. During a phone call on September 24th with Jenny Lake District Ranger Chris Bellino, he was informed that he would be issued a mandatory citation, a legal notice requiring a court appearance, and that charges would be filed. And then September 18th, the official FKT record-keeping website, fkt.com, had rejected Sunseri's attempt based on their conversation with NPS and in accordance with their own guidelines. They've rejected his submission. They don't condone anything that is against the law. So anyways, it went to court and they found him guilty, and he is facing a significant fine and likely a lifetime park ban. This is a Class B misdemeanor, punishable by up to 6 months in jail and a $5,000 fine. So it'll be interesting to see what his sentence is. But if you look at the historic route, that is that. It looks like this is the historic route, and if you go to the modern, so what I'm showing is the historic, and now this is the modern. It's very close. I'm not sure what the difference is, but those switchbacks are definitely
it actually looks at the difference is down at the bottom when you make your left. When you make your left and start heading toward a trailhead, focus in right in there. That's where your difference is going to be. So there that is. There's like a little bubble there. Now go back to the other one.
Yeah.
I feel like there's something different in through here, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
At any rate, he's found guilty, and that's like, he should have followed the rules. I mean, I don't have like a whole lot of sympathy. I have a little bit of sympathy, but not a whole lot. I don't know.
It is.
I get his point though, and
yeah,
the other people have done it. It's a historic climbing route, and if you look at the old historic inactive FKT route where Kilian's is, it's flagged on the FKT.com website, fastestknowntime.com website. So is Emily Forsberg and Kilian's unsupported mixed gender team FKT is flagged because they must have used that too. And Jenny Day Denton is also flagged. She has the female unsupported FKT. So those flagged FKTs, they must have did that shortcut.
Yeah. And it's just such a weird. I mean, of all the bullshit that's going on,
yeah,
this is it. Like,
this
is it.
I know.
Like these punk motherfuckers are trying to take BLM land.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Like, they're trying to take BLM land and let fuckers develop on it, and like they're trying to do away with the road rule, and they're letting people drill and forest and mine on it.
But you cut one little switchback.
But this dude cuts a switchback.
That's why I have a little sympathy for him.
It's just the dumbest shit ever. Like just a bunch of fucking hypocrites.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy. So, anyways, we'll follow along and see what his sentencing ends up being. So
that's just crazy.
It's a wild story, man. Like, because just think about what that little, I don't know what it is, half mile maybe, what that little half mile cost him, you know? Like, I can't remember back. Maybe
I saw one of the someone else has done something similar and got fined $500 and had to do $1,000 donation to conservation, erosion prevention, or some shit like that.
Yeah.
So like
that's not terrible.
So
yeah.
Let me do a little plug here. Waterloo, if you'd like to sponsor us, Waterloo Ruby Red Tangerine. Absolute. Like, I think it's my new favorite Waterloo flavor.
Waterloo, yeah, that's pretty good stuff. We are not sponsored by Waterloo, everybody. But if they want to sponsor us,
however, we're not afraid of.
I would not turn it down.
Yeah.
If
anybody
knows of anybody that wants to sponsor us, we would not turn it down.
Someone's got to reimburse Jamie for the monthly fees that we have to pay to put this on. Like, damn, poor Jamie.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it is what it is, but yeah, anything would help.
We're down.
All right, let's jump into our three T's here. Well, so the idea for this week's three T's came from tips, tricks, and thoughts. Came from something that happened to me Saturday, just like our last one.
Wait, did you get a little boo boo?
Yeah. Well.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So I'm running along, like I'm running out at Montana de Oro, which there are some really nice runnable trails out there, but there's also some really rocky trails too. And I'm running on the more rockier trails, and I fall into some shrubbery, and thank God there was no
rattlesnake in their way to get you.
There was no rattlesnake, which was my biggest concern. I'm like scrambling to get out of there.
I would have been out of that bush so fucking fast. I'm with you, man. I would have been.
Yeah, and then it was foggy and like kind of like just damp out, and all that debris was like sticking to my skin all over. I like had my bandana to try to wipe, but that wasn't even what the problem was. So I'm moving on from that fall. And literally like a half mile later, I'm going down this really steep, gravelly downhill.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I told myself, I'm going to try to become a good technical downhill runner. After watching like videos on the Mugen, Monster. So like I'm kind of going and my right foot starts sliding on that scree. And I don't even know how this happened, but I started falling backwards because it was kind of like a slip.
Oh yeah.
But I rolled over on my foot and my knee somehow went down towards the ground in front of me, and I kind of like sat on my calf when I fell back.
I got you.
So my quad got
hyperextended.
Hyperextended. I hyperextended my quad, and I still finished my run. That was kind of early in the run. I still finished the whole run, and it's pretty bad. But it led me to start thinking about soft tissue injuries in general, like shin splints, plantar fasciitis, IT band. There's all different kinds of ways people deal with that. But do you have any certain methods that work better than others?
Well, I wish it's times like this that I wish we had like an audio board or like doing a live recording, because I would say something like, all right, everybody say it with me. What do I say when I say this? And there's just no two. There's just no two same things, right? It's going to be like situational dependent. Like it's going to matter.
It depends.
It just totally depends, because like, first off, even like the soft tissue injuries that you just gave in that example are not all the same type of soft tissue, right? Like
that's true. You
know what I mean? Like muscular soft tissue is way different than having like a ligament soft tissue damage.
Yeah.
Like way different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then like the other thing that really wilds me out is like the new big thing is those fucking guns, right? Like the therapeutics. They're fucking awesome if you have sore muscles, but they can do a lot of fucking damage if you've had like a torn muscle and you're like, and you're beating the shit out of a torn muscle. You're gonna want to tear it more.
That's true.
And so it's one of those things. Like, I like, here's the most old school generic ass answer you'll ever get is if you take 3 weeks, if it hurts to where you can't run on it and it's altering your stride, if it's making you alter your stride, and when you're running on it and you stop and the pain continues, you need to take weeks off, not days, weeks. And then when you come back, you need to slowly reintroduce. You can't just be like, I mean, that's how fucking junkies OD. You can't go back to what you left on. You know what I mean? Like, you got to nurse your way back into it. And I think that's the hard part about soft tissues, is because it'll feel good, and then people jump right back in, and it's like one little like goofy move, and it's right back. In a weird way, that's the best thing about broken bones, right? That's the best thing about broken bones.
You can measure your progress.
Yeah, like once that thing's healed, it's healed, right? And like, unless you snap it again, you're not going to break it again.
It's going to be stronger, actually.
Yeah, and the bad thing about soft tissue is that's there. Like, that's there. You know what I mean? Like, it's like you could just like move wrong and that thing will re-grab again and you're right back to base one. And like, that's the hard part for me. So like, my best answer is like weeks off, rest. Here's a new one I learned. You and I grew up under the day and age of rice, right? Rest, ice, compression, elevation is what you and I grew up on, and like playing sports back in the 80s and shit. I've now learned that they now believe that you should not ice injuries post 48 hours. You should actually allow it to like get a little inflamed and let the body's natural inflammation process heal it. So anyways, all of this is my simplest way of saying the best thing you can do is rest it and then slowly return to running.
So
you just remind me of something, by the way. Yes.
Oh, thank you.
I don't know why. I have no clue why that.
I actually forgot all about it too. But I got to push back on you a little bit.
Oh.
So, sometimes rest doesn't help certain soft tissue injuries. My white whale, or my thing that comes up in training blocks when I'm starting to ramp up to a lot of mileage for 100 miler is shin splints. Okay. And I've had them to the point where they have altered my stride, and where I'm basically limping through training runs. And I'm like, I can't take weeks off right now because I'm in the peak of training, So I've put compression, 2 or 3 layers of compression socks on my calf and all this, and kind of just struggled through it. And I'm not going to say that it went away, but it was enough to get me through the training block and through the race. But then I started figuring out some different ways to manage it that really helped. And one thing that helped, and this may sound weird, it may sound like some voodoo holistic stuff, but have you heard of the scraping tool?
Oh, yeah.
It's not much pressure. It doesn't hurt. But I started scraping my calf and along my shin and doing that, and holy shit, it actually freaking helps. And that, between that and using a foam roller and rolling my calf out, those two things actually help me manage and get over it the last couple of times it's flared up. So I've been, with my quad, it's still in quite a bit of pain, but I did some scraping on it the last 2 nights, and I definitely feel a little bit of noticeable progress today. But yeah, so I manage mine by using the scraping tool and foam rolling. But you're right, there are some injuries that you will definitely want to rest on, instead of risking a stress fracture or something like that, But plantar fasciitis, again, that's stemming from your Achilles, your calf. I would try to do some therapeutic stuff like rolling it out, massage, things like that. Because time off with plantar fasciitis or shin splints, it's like you said, you start feeling better and you'll go out and it'll instantly flare back up. Right?
So I think shin splints is a really interesting one to talk about, though, because I feel let me ask you this. We could actually blow this episode up from being an hour, 10-minute episode to an hour, a 2-hour, 10-minute.
Yeah.
All based on shin splints. Here's what, and by the way, before I say what I get ready to say, I thought it when you had mentioned it, and I already vetted myself, so I make sure I'm not talking on my ass with what I'm getting ready to say here. The term shin splints is maybe the most misunderstood term in running, and I can prove it by saying this. What if I say, hey, I have shin splints? What do I have? What am I saying is wrong? Go ahead.
Yeah, it's definitely stemming from your calf or your those tendons that run up along the side of your calf.
So that's the thing, though. So shin splints has become just a catch-all term amongst runners for pain on my lower leg. You know what I mean? I have a perception of what shin splints are. You have and so people feel
pain along the shin,
pain down here, and they're like, I have shin splints, and it's it has become this catch-all. And so sometimes a shin splint can be something as catastrophic as a stress fracture along the tibia.
It could.
Sometimes a shin splint can be something as simple as some inflammation in that muscle compartment.
Yeah.
So sometimes it could be where there's like a sheath around your tendons.
Mhm.
Sometimes there could be fluid built up between the sheath and the tendon that's not getting released. I am guessing when you talk about that scraping and then getting the release from it, I'm guessing that is what you're feeling because you're scraping that fluid out of that sheath, and thus it feels better. And so when I hear people say, "Oh, I have shin splints," I immediately like,
yeah, and
that is.
Just to be clear, I'm not giving any medical advice. Do not follow what I do because it's probably not correct. You're right though. You got to know the difference between the pain of a stress fracture and the pain of a soft tissue injury, right?
Yeah.
Like the stress fracture is not going to get better with rest.
No. P.S. I've had a stress fracture on the femoral head. Let me tell you, the level of pain that fucker is unrecognizable. So you will know if you have stress fractures. Generally speaking.
Pete Griggs training for Coco in 2024. He got this stress fracture in his lower leg, right?
In his lower leg, and he should split. I will also say, good sir. I will also say the number one cause of shin splints it's like 1A, 1B, but it is increased mileage in too short of a period of time and or increased pace in too short a period of a time.
Yeah.
Folks, fucking ramp up. I can't, I am being an ultimate hypocrite sitting here saying this. I was until 2 years ago, I just now learned this.
It's true though. It's true. And especially if you're forced to run on pavement a lot, for me, when I pick up miles that are like half paved, half trail or whatever, that's when it really gets me. I can do long runs out on the trail. It's fine. But if I start increasing my mileage on pavement, they start creeping back. So, anyway, all right. Well, cool. It's an hour and 12 in, so I think we
not bad. Not bad. Look,
not bad at all. And if I didn't throw out this like hot potato of a 3T, we could have been done in an hour.
45,
Cool. That's a good one. There's definitely a lot more we could say, but we are not medical experts. By all means, do not take medical advice from us.
Oh shit!
We are just two regular Joes, regular dumbasses, just talking about our own experiences.
Dude.
But anyways, thanks everybody for listening. We appreciate you, and we'll catch you next week.
See you next week. Thanks, everybody.